So to create a form, the first thing you do is actually create the master form or the container for everything else. So to do that, you go into Insert, Form, Form. So pretty easy. If you look at the code for it, what it does is actually these IDs, names, and methods are what the coding software or the programming language would access to tell it what to do. For us, we're just going to leave it like this and assume that there's somebody with a degree in computer science coming behind us to do the back end of this thing. But if you go into, you can do this a couple of ways. You can go up here into forms. We really haven't used this a whole lot this semester, but all the icons are shortcuts for everything. There's quite a few different, I'm sure you guys have all seen different kinds of forms where you fill in the information and then hit submit. There are text fields, and you can set it up different ways to have your information wrapped around. So you can put in ones that have no label. You can have them where they create labels. This can be set up in a table to set up the structure, but all you're doing is dropping these pieces in, and then that's what they'll use to access the other. You can also go into Insert Form, and then you've got names. There are your button. So you have your submit button that you'll use, and that's actually what they'll code off of to get it to work. You'll have radio buttons and check boxes. So check boxes are just exactly what they sound like, where you go through and there's a list of things and you check all the ones that apply. You can also do checkbox groups, where you can list several of them and put them in, and then you can check them off. So if you've got more than one or two, it's better to do it as a group. The other one that you've ran into is radio buttons. And so radio buttons, you can only, if you have choices, you can only click one of. So that's the ones on the forums where it says pick one from the list, and if you click on one and then change your mind, you click on another and the first one goes away. That's the difference between a checkbox and a radio button. It also has groups, so I can do radio groups, set up as many as I want, and then when I run it, I would go through and check the ones that I want. Let's see, I'll show you that real quick. There's nothing very difficult about setting up the blanks. That's the way a radio button works, as opposed to a checkbox where I can check multiple ones. So that's the difference between the two. Like I said, the difficulty is really setting up the other part where you actually make it go in and send it to the right place. You can do fields. That's the biggest ones. You're also going to have area buttons, where you have a block of text that you want put in. You've seen those where it says put in your whatever in 250 words or less, and so that's where you set that one. So it's really not very difficult to set this up where it looks right. It's probably one of the things that you want to do for your portfolio is to have a page with a contact form or a survey form, just to show that you know how to do it. But you'd actually have someone else doing the coding behind the scenes to make it actually function.